Thank you for staying tuned. It is still the conversation here on Lagos Television. Transportation is the lifeblood of any megacity, and in Lagos, movement is survival. From roads to rails, waterways to the BRT corridor, the vision of an integrated transport network is gradually unfolding. But again, how connected are these systems? How seamless is the experience for the average commuter? Joining us on the conversation to give answers to these questions and more, we are joined by Taiwo Olapade. He is a journalist and social affairs commentator. You're welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, we're talking about Lagos intermodal transport system. How critical is this system for a mega city like Lagos?
Thank you very much. Before I answer your question, coming all the way from Sulere, where I stay, I had a smooth journey up to the Obafemi Awolowo way, coming down, moving in towards Allen, and we were stuck for almost about 10 minutes. And getting to the front, we couldn't really see anything that really caused the traffic. And that shows the nature of the mega city that you just mentioned. Mega city is determined by a particularly number of population, and of course infrastructural development that must also be in place. But particularly what determines a state to be called a mega city, and I think maybe about 10 million and above. And we know Lagos is some people say over 20, some people say close to 20, some people say 25, until we maybe conduct a normal regular census. But whether we like it or not, intermodal transportation system is very germane, particularly for socioeconomic development of any nation. You can't do anything when your transport network is at fault or is not working efficiently as expected. And but in this case, I think we must also consider the fact that Nigerians, this trust deficits that has been with us for so long a time, we must break that barrier, and we must change that narrative, because people don't really trust government. And it's not just this present government per se. It has been an antecedent, So, and if we really want to do well, I'm saying now in terms of governance, government must win the trust of the people. And for every project to succeed, for every initiative of government to succeed, people must also own it. And that's why when you know that what government is doing or what government has done, the facilities, the infrastructure put in place are meant to serve us, are meant to make life more convenient for us, are meant to make our moving up and down so seamless. Definitely, we want to protect it. So I think government must start from that perspective in ensuring that they win the trust of the people. And then by extension, the people will now know that what government is doing is actually to make life more convenient for us. Then they will own that project or that initiative, as the case may be.
We'll still talk more on ownership of these facilities provided by government later on the show. But let's talk about the red line and blue line now. I have traveled on both transport systems. Since it being in full operation, how do you think this has also contributed to reducing traffic congestion on the way?
Well, I think I want to give it to the Lagos State government in this regard. And just like I said earlier in the introductory remark, every mega city, has a common challenge of traffic log jams or traffic bottleneck, as the case may be. And if you consider the man-hour loss to traffic, if you convert it into naira and kobo, for a state like Lagos, it runs into several billions of naira on a yearly basis. I just narrated my experience. Imagine the emergency responders, maybe fire service, maybe police, maybe ambulance, and sometimes they are going for a mission and they run into traffic. And whether they like it or not, you can't fly. And that's why sometimes you also see them flying maybe one way or whatever, because that traffic will surely affect. We are talking of emergency, maybe fire outbreak. And you see the fire service vehicle, moving, and they run into traffic. So it's part of the what I said, or what I said earlier, as regard what we lose on a yearly basis to this traffic bottleneck that government is trying to solve. And I said I give it to Lagos State government, and I also give it to Lamata, because Lamata, I think, is the agency charged with that responsibility of ensuring that this intermodal system of transportation works so efficiently for people of the state, be it the rail line, the rail, the blue, the red that you mentioned. I think I'm hearing that there is a green coming up maybe somewhere, maybe
the green line,
so and even the water system, the water transportation, and we are very used to the road network, and whether we like it, the road network is already congested, whether we like it or not. The population is increasing, and of course government is building more road, and the government is also trying to also fix, to also repair those that are damaged by nature of the volume of traffic on all these roads, and particularly the articulated vehicles are the major cause of the bad road network that we always experience in the Lagos metropolis.
Let's talk about the BRT system now. Has it maintained its original efficiency from your
whether you like it or not? BRT came, I think it was launched during it was the idea of the current president, but it was launched during the Fashola's administration. And whether you like it or not, the BRT system has come to stay. It has really helped a lot of Lagosians moving from one place to the other. Some people some people, what they do now is just drive to the BRT point, enter the BRT, because they've also provided the space for you to also park your vehicles, go to work, or go to where keep your appointment, and come back to also, come for your vehicle. So in that regard, I see the number. Sometimes you even see people, what do you call it, hanging inside BRT. So that's to show that this is a project that the people of the state received with open hands, and they really welcome it as one of the ways to also solve this the same traffic bottleneck that we are talking about. So BRT, the intervention of BRT sincerely has come a long way, and has really contributed in solving most of this traffic. Because what I like is that most of these people that also patronize the BRT, most of them have their vehicles. So, but because they decided to go for BRT, the vehicles are parked at home. So, and that will also reduce the burden on our dilapidated road network, or some bad road network. So BRT has really, the intervention is laudable, and for me it's going to be a long-lasting legacy of the Lagos State government.
Okay, let's move over to water transport now. You wanted to touch on it earlier, and I said we're going to talk about it. Now, Lagos is surrounded by water, but do you think that Lagosians are fully maximizing this means of transportation?
Of course, it's always work in progress, whether you like it or not, but under this government, we have seen more jetties built around part of the state, and we have also seen the deployment of very articulated, high-powered ferries in most of these jetties to also commute people or transport people via waterways, because some people that lives, particularly those that lives in the corridor, because of the road network and because of the traffic encountered regularly at that market, what's it called? Is it My 12 market? Aha. So they now go for the option of going by water. I keep, remembering an assignment I was to undertake at Apapa, maybe close to about 25 years ago, when I, started this job newly. And already I was running late, and that was during the thick of that Apapa gridlock. I was like, and I was speaking to myself that already I'm late for this assignment. I'm coming from VI. I got to CMS. I was thinking, how do I go? Already I'm late, like an hour late for that. And somebody just overheard me and said, you said you are going to Apapa. That's Apapa across. I said, what do you mean? So go and enter. That was my first experience, you know, to enter ferry. With less than 5 minutes, we are on the other side. And I was like, can this be a magic or what in Lagos? Because I'm not used to it. And again, because of the phobia of water, how do you understand? But since then, we have seen government's commitment towards ensuring that people also take to waterways. But unfortunately, sometimes we experience maybe boat capsizing, and that has been for a very long time. We have not seen that in Lagos because the stakeholders also ensure that people don't do this business. They don't operate their ferries late in the night. And they must also ensure that people go onto the ferry wearing their life jacket. It is the standard, and we cannot compromise that. So the water service, the water transportation, for me, I think the Lagos State government has done so well in that regard. Because if you go to some of these jetties, you are so very comfortable, and if you also travel, depending on what you can afford, because some people even say maybe the ferries are on the high side, maybe around 35 or thereabout from Ikorodu to CMS, and but however, if you consider the time you spend in traffic, and that's why I said demand hour loss, the way it affects our businesses. Time is money. So I'm saying we can Google it. It runs into several billions of naira. What people, the residents of Lagos, lose on a yearly basis when we encounter traffic, maybe going to work, going for appointment, or even going for our social engagement. So all this intermodal transportation system has really impacted positively on the way we commute around the Lagos metropolis.
All right, and let's talk about maintenance culture now, because many projects fail due to poor maintenance. For you, what are your recommendations for the state government regarding maintenance of these facilities that has been put in place?
Well, that's one area that particularly the developing countries, which Nigeria is one, we are lacking. We don't maintain our infrastructure. Go to National Stadium in Surulere. We used to be the best at the point in our fatherland, but go there and see what it has become a shadow of itself. And that's what we say about maintenance culture. And coming to the subject matter, the road network in particular, it's also because sometimes most of our contractors, and I'm not sorry to say this, they don't also do a good job when it comes to constructing our road. And I want to give it to Senator Dave Umai, the current Minister for Works. You can see the nature of most of the roads that are being constructed under this administration. And even when former governor of the state, Babatunde Fashola, was also the Minister for Works then, we also saw the nature of the road network. So most of our contractors, they don't do a quality job. They just, do it the way they like it, because they also feel that nobody is also monitoring them. And that's why I said earlier that we must own every other project. When we see a contractor doing a job that we know it will not last for too long, we have the right, because we are the one that will commit on that road. We are the one that will make use of those infrastructure. So it is our concern that we must also, when we see something, we must say something that, oh, okay, this work we are doing here, we don't see it as a good job. If there are people, if there are ways you can also escalate it, we must escalate it. Because what I would like, in the long run, we are the one that will also use that infrastructure. If you permit me, I also like to quickly say something on this manhole that maybe they call them Babambula, or what do they call them, that virtually most of the roads, they've removed them. And it causes major accident for people that are not familiar with those terrain. And what government has done now to replace them is now to mold something like a brick or something like a blocks, so that like, they can't remove that because it doesn't worth anything in terms of naira and kobo.
These are people going there to remove
They remove it. They remove these things intentionally. I'm not, but then, as citizens of the state, me, I can, or you rather, you can't see somebody doing such vandalizing government property and you look the other way. But whether you like it or not, most of these are not even removing them. They are not removing in the broader light. Those people, they knew the time, they calculate the time, they do that dirty jobs. But I'm happy that in most of the places where that has been done, it has been replaced with bricks or something like a cement that it doesn't have any value to them. But we must also be very conscious in ensuring that those that vandalize, particularly our road network, are apprehended and sanctioned accordingly so that it can serve as deterrence to others.
This leads me to my next question about what more can be done to ensure that commuters now are stakeholders of these facilities and they take ownership.
Well, in terms of ownership, just like I said, anything government does, it is for our, it is to make life, better for us. So, and that's why I started this conversation by saying that government needs to gain or earn the trust of the people. It is very, very important. If government is doing anything and people are like a daisical attitude that, I beg, it doesn't concern me, or is it today? They will say they were doing something, and then so government, for every project to succeed, for every initiative of government, whether federal, subnational, state, or even at the local government level, there must be this synergy between the government and the citizens. So that's why government must first ensure that they win or they earn, as the case may be, the trust of the people because of the long time trust deficit, just like I said. And again, when you know that government, you already believe in the government of the day, definitely whatever they are doing in terms of projects, in terms of infrastructure, you will also want to consider yourself as a stakeholder, because in the long run, whether we like it or not, we are also at the receiving end. We are the one that will make use of those. We are the one applying on BRT. Is it Governor Sanwo-Olu, or is it Governor Fashola, or is it Mr. President? Except when they are doing a symbolic launching of the coaches or the new buses or the light rail. I saw your report. That's when you see them. Thereafter, we, the ordinary citizens of the country, of the state, are the one patronizing all these facilities. So that means these facilities, infrastructures are meant for us, are meant to improve on our daily living, to improve on our lives. So in that case, we must also see ourselves, just like as a stakeholders, in ensuring that all these government projects and initiatives succeed in the long run.
It is one thing for the government to come up with transport initiatives, and another thing is sustainability across successive government, because of course you know that once one tenure is over, another comes in. So how important is it for successive government to maintain and sustain that which is on ground? Very
beautiful question. And you remember I said when our current president was the governor of Lagos State, that was when the idea of the BRT came in. And it was even convenient for him to do the launching then. But because nobody does it, you can't finish it. And that's why they say government is, you do your part, and somebody else will also take it off from there, and continuity in government. So it was convenient for him at that time to say, let me inaugurate this project and, say bye-bye to the government house. But he decided to leave it as part of what the new government will showcase as the product of continuity, because it's the same government that is taking over from So, and since then we can see the way the Lagos State government, succeeding government or governors, has continued to also ensure that those legacies are also protected. Because what I would like, these are the heritage and the legacies of the state government. So in terms of maintenance, I sincerely want to appeal, maybe on this platform, to Lagos State governor in particular, to ensure that for road, I've seen a laudable work being done by the Lagos State Public Works Corporation, Lagos State Public Works Corporation. I think their office is located at Ojodubaga or something. They are doing, I can't count number of times they've patched or they've done a maintenance on roads around my area. And that has made, commuting, transporting on those roads so easily, so convenient for us. So in terms of maintenance, like you said, we need a regular maintenance of our road, because the pressure on the road, particularly the articulated vehicles, because there is no a separate road constructed for them. In a civilized world or in a developed society, they have a lane for them. In a developed society, they have a lane for articulated vehicles, and you know that this is your lane. And you see 6 lanes, you even have a lane for, what's it called, motorcycles, those who are driving a power bike, But in our roads are so narrow that everybody will ply the same road, whether Marua, Korope, minibus, even all these articulated vehicles, and they are the cause of the damages we see on our road network. And so if the Lagos Public Works Corporation is well funded and the Ministry of Work is also up to the task, is also up and doing, definitely it won't take us time to see most of these roads, most of this bad portion of the road fixed for the benefit of the residents of the state.
Still on maintenance, what would you say about the performance of the operators, those who are operating these transport systems, like those who are in charge of the ferries, the trains, the BRT buses, the operators themselves?
Well, all of them are stakeholders, because Yoruba will say, I don't know how to translate that in English, but the bottom line is, as a stakeholder, you must also ensure that the facilities provided by government, you also see yourself as a stakeholder. You see yourself as even the government. Well, we are quick to say government. We are all government, whether we like it or not. The only thing is some people are either appointed or elected to manage our affairs. Collectively, we are in government, whether we like it or not. So for those who also operate particularly the commercial buses, the yellow buses, the Korope, the Maru, and all of them, the government must also ensure, maybe through the Ministry of Transportation, that they also key in and buy in into government policies and programs, because these roads, they are the one, aside also in one way or the other complementing the effort of government in providing buses for seamless journey of residents of the states. They must also see themselves as stakeholders, because if the roads are bad, definitely it means that the turnover of going to mechanic to fix your car, and you'll be spending money. So that is the reason why they must also see themselves that, whether you like it or not, when they see people who are doing something that can affect or that can make the road to go bad, they must ensure that they shout and do the needful. Because in the long run, like I said, if you are doing like a lackadaisical attitude that it doesn't affect me today, there will be a day that you will also be at the receiving end and you will be affected. So all of us collectively must ensure that we see ourselves is a key word as a stakeholder in every government project and initiative. We must see it as it is our own. We must own it. So when we have that kind of mindset, is when we can see that to a very logical conclusion, the government project will see the light of the day, and we as beneficiaries will continue to also enjoy it as part of dividends of democracy.
How do we cascade this ownership, the attitude of ownership now, to everyone, especially those at the grassroots and even the children again, because they say catch them young? What best way do you think government can push this message further down?
It's just a mindset thing. It's a mindset. Just like I said from the introduction, that people don't trust government. It doesn't start with it. Yes, I will say it if possible 100 times on this on this show, because of the long years of trust deficits, particularly in our country. People don't trust government, and it's quite unfortunate. So government must first and foremost win the trust of the people.
How will
and
the trust?
Of course, it's by being transparent. It's by being accountable to the people, to the citizenry. It is also by ensuring that you practice what you preach. When you say something that you are going to do is, you must match your words with action. You know, we have seen government in the past, and people are still referring to all those government that have long, gone. People are still talking about them today. The likes of late Chief Obafemi Awolowo. There's nothing we can do in terms of education that will not make reference to late Chief Obafemi, particularly in the southwestern part of the country. We talk about Baba Kekere, late Alhaji Lateef Jakande. How come we are still making reference to them? It is because of the legacies they left behind. So who says those who are at the helms of affairs today can also emulate and even do beyond what these same the same people were making reference to, what they did during their own time. Whether we like it or not, posterity will surely judge every one of us in the long run.
Absolutely, posterity will be the judge of all. As we begin to wrap up now, let's say in the next 5 years, what must Lagos get right to achieve a truly seamless intermodal transport system? Well,
if you permit me, let me quickly, I have something like a way forward. If you permit me, I'll just quickly do a rundown. We need a constant repairs. I think we have spoken about that. Repairs of bad portions of road network in Lagos, and I mentioned here specifically the Lagos Public Works Corporation. For me, they are doing a good job, but for every good job done, as they say it, that means they are also expected to also continue in that trajectory. They can only do well more if government also put more fund in that agency, the Lagos Public Works Corporation. We need to build more roads, whether we like them, because the roads that we have now, most of them quickly go bad because of the level of pressure on them. I mentioned the articulated vehicles. They are the major cause of the bad or the damaged road we see in the Lagos metropolis. And again, the population density. Whether I like it or not, we have Lagos is so congested, it's so choked up, and the level of pressures that you and I put on this road, whether it is natural, it will surely go bad within a little period of time. So we also need to build more ferries. Of course, jetties rather, we need to build more jetties and also deploy more ferries and ensure that people can take to transportation by water, because that's the fastest. When we are talking about, I narrated the experience of my journey from CMS to Apapa. Within 5 minutes, we have crossed to the other side. That's a journey in the thick of the Apapa gridlock that will have cost me nothing less than about 1 hour, 30 minutes or 2 hours. Within 5 minutes, I was from CMS, I landed in Apapa safely. So, the yellow buses, the minibus, the tricycles, of course, government needs to really have a stakeholder meetings with them. Whether we like it or not, government for now may not have enough private buses or public buses, as the case may be, to accommodate or to commit Lagosians from one point to the other. So all these yellow buses, they must regulate their activities. Gradually they can be phased out, but government must also bring them together, have a stakeholder forums with them on the need to also ensure that they follow the rules and regulations in terms of transportation system in the state. And I think the last one that I have here has to do with the vehicle inspection. It is very, very important. Some people feel like what the VIOs are doing, we don't like them. Recently, after the expiration of my papers, when you want to renew, you will also need to check the conditions of it. Is very, very important. It is for our safety. But people feel like government want to collect money from me. Why do it is very, very important. And I know
the road worthy of the car.
That's another aspect of, if we are doing roadworthiness for our vehicles, is the road sincerely. So I think that's an aspect that our government must also look into. Just like I said, that those portions of the road that are bad, we need constant and regular repair in terms of maintenance that we have also discussed. So me, I support the idea of this regular check on our vehicles. Most of the accidents that we see on the road are because of brake failure, because of maybe the conditions of those vehicles are not meant to be on the road, but we always take it for granted. And as Nigerians, as Africans, we are always in a hurry to meet our target. And finally, I want to say that even last month, they've also taken the job of rescuing people at accident scene. I've seen a couple of that, and I say kudos to them. And maybe we can also deploy LASMA to areas that we know are traffic prone, that we know that this area, whether you like it or not, there will be traffic bottleneck, because the man-hour loss to traffic, if you calculate on a yearly basis in Lagos State, it runs into billions of naira. And it's not rocket science. We can find a way around it. We can find solutions to it. And some of those solutions to most of these problems are those I've highlighted just a few minutes ago. And collectively, we as residents of the state or citizens of the state, we must also work in synergy with the Lagos State government in ensuring that the policies and programs of the state that are meant to improve on our well-being in the long run provide that same the dividends of democracy that we are all craving for, or we all are also asking for, will be something that eventually we can say, oh, at this point, I think I'm enjoying what the Lagos State government is doing, whether in terms of ferry or in terms of BRT and the like. So it's a collective responsibility. You can't just leave it to government. It's a collective responsibility.
Collective responsibility to ensure sustainability of these facilities provided by government. We also have a role to play.
Definitely.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing the recommendations that you just reeled out, talking about Lagos intermodal transport system. Thank you again, Taiwo Olapade. He is a journalist and social affairs commentator. The program continues. Stay with us.